All right. Today I'm going to explain to you guys why everybody's been having these Oracle issues as of late. So there was the 1010 Binance thing, Moonbeam thing that happened the other day, even like the DUSD, DPEG. Um, why are all these things happening, and why do I think there's probably going to be more Oracle issues? Um, to kind of explain, we're going to have to explain kind of how lending protocols slash perps work. And the real reason is in vaults and staking protocols. Uh, so to kind of go into it, first you have like a base asset. So we'll say it's ETH, and people will deposit it into a vault or a staking protocol, and they're going to get out some token, like it'll be like wrapped ETH, staked ETH, Y ETH. And basically this represents their base asset, but it also has yield in it because their ETH is being loaned out to some operator, and he's going to promise to give them yield back. So now you have this staked ETH product or this vault product, and it's earning you yield. Lending protocols said, hey, like we were getting people depositing an ETH. What if you could get even more yield by depositing these assets into the lending protocol? Then you can borrow USDC and sell it for ETH and do it again, or do whatever the hell you want. So these guys are going to deposit into the lending protocols. If you know how lending protocols work, they need a price for the deposit asset. What you need is you need to make sure that uh, basically the collateral is worth more than the USDC that's lent out. So you need an oracle, and this is where the oracle piece comes in. Um, basically, how do we get a price of this? The traditional way is you just go look at the market price, right? So people are probably selling these on an exchange, but the problem is that they're not really selling these on exchanges. There's very limited liquidity. Usually, I mean, even for like the big ones like Steth, it's usually just like Curve and on some dexes, which are, a dex is every 12 seconds. But like for some of these other ones, like lesser known vaults, it's, you have like one pool on Aerodrome with 25K on it. There's just no liquidity on it. So if you use that as basically your price, things could go bad because the problem is this is the market rate Oracle. But if there's one exchange that has 25K liquidity, now somebody can manipulate that exchange and cause a whole bunch of liquidations or wreak havoc in your protocol. This is what happened on 1010 with Binance. Binance's exchange was the market oracle for their product, and somebody realized that, manipulated the price, and yeah, caused a blip, whole bunch of issues. So anyway, so what are some other options if there's not enough liquidity on here? Well, you can use what's called the fundamental oracle. The fundamental oracle is this. We're going to take this, essentially this product is ETH plus some yield, right? So we'll just take ETH, and then all of these contracts have what's called a conversion ratio. So you're going to say ETH times 1.1 or something like that, which represents the amount of yield that you're getting, and then you get a market price for it. So you convert it to dollars that way. So you're using like all of the ETH liquidity, and then you're just multiplying it by some basic factor in the smart contract that's hard coded. Sounds good, right? Well, the problem is that you're actually just taking on the credit risk of the operator or whatever the strategy is in your lending protocol because Lido, obviously, if you're using Steth, that's probably fine. Nobody's really going to get slashed in Lido. Um, so like you can probably do that okay. But the real reason a lot of these are slowly going down in quality, this seems to be what's happening. So, Joe's off-chain hedge fund promises 20% yield, and he's going to borrow all of your ETH. Well, what happens when Joe's off-chain hedge fund can't give back the yield or the ETH? Now all of a sudden that conversion ratio is meaningless and your entire lending protocol blows up. So yeah, it seems like as of now, the fundamental rate is the way that people are going. Um, we're kind of trading systemic safety for the ability to do this. But it's a trade-off. There's no good answer for oracles because like there's obviously no liquidity here. You can't really use a market rate, so do you want your price to be manipulated? Not really. And then the fundamental rate, we're just sort of compounding credit risk on top of each other. Um, yeah. So anyway, there are solutions, but I guess this is good for a video now. Let me know if you want me to go into that in the next one or if you like this. Thanks.